Broadcasting from Cincinnati, you're listening to the Ringside Reporter Podcast. All the news from the world of boxing right here.
Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you.
Now, here's your host, Eric Lorda.
And we are live with a special breakdown of the Devin Haney, Haney-Kambosos fight here. Beeb, this fight is going to take place tonight around, I would imagine around 11 o'clock. Now, the main card starts at 9 p.m. here. And then I imagine about 11 p.m. That's when they'll have like the main draw here. A couple of things to note here. Haney-Kambosos missed weight yesterday by like a third of a pound. Not very much. I get it, not very much, but he still missed weight. He had 2 hours to come back. I think about an hour or 15 or something like that. He came back, was fine. Made weight and everything like that. So the fight is on, no problem tomorrow, or no problem today as far as the fight goes. But Beeb, I got to wonder, man. I tell you, the one thing they tell you, and you know all about this too, is that when a fighter comes in overweight, you don't bet on him. You just don't. He may go out, may not have a problem, but you never bet on a fighter overweight because there's too much questions there. You know what I mean? Now I got a question. Did he train? Was he distracted? This has got to be, everybody talks about a disadvantage that Haney has going to Australia and everything like that. What about the disadvantage for Kambosos in the sense that, listen, this is the biggest fight in his career taking place at this huge stadium in Australia. It's probably sold out. I think on pay-per-view, Fox pay-per-view over there, it's a huge, huge deal. And the biggest fight of your life, you come in overweight. I don't care if he's a quarter pound overweight or whatever. And I gotta be honest, at the weigh-in, he didn't look great. He looked bone dry at that weigh-in. He looked completely dried out. And listen, man, it's you guys got nutritionists. Somebody dropped the ball here because with nutritionists and everything like that, you got to assume you hire nutritionists, the best of the best to help him through this. When you hire somebody like that and you don't listen, the program works. The nutritionists and everything, the trainers, they all know what they're doing. The program works. It's been proven to work. All right. The problem is that when you don't follow the program, you know what I mean? The program works. You fail the program. Program doesn't fail you. A third of a pound. Again, not that much weight, but again, you got to let me. Hey, is he distracted? What's going on here? The biggest fight of your life, and he didn't look good on that scale. It's not like he looked overly. Devin Haney looked great on that scale yesterday.
I thought he did too.
I mean, He looked shredded.
Some people think he didn't look good. I think he looked the best he's ever looked. He looked full. His muscles were popping out. His abs were popping out. He looked great to me.
You know how some people you look at a weigh-in and they kind of look drawn. They make the weight and they're cut and everything like that, but they look a little bit drawn. The next time you see them, they've rehydrated and everything. They're okay. He didn't look like that at all. He looked like he made this weight, and he talked about that cut. And he said this was not really a problem at all. He said this was one of the better cuts he's had.
Because he hired a nutritionist, and he had muscle fullness. He did not look flat at all.
Lockwood, was it Lockwood, the nutritionist he hired?
That guy, the same nutritionist that Fury had. I think his name's Gary Lockhart or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
he does the MMA. He does the MMA fighters, and he's got a tried and true method, and everyone. Man. Even Rogan sings his praises to the high heavens. This guy is qualified. He's credible, and to me, I'm just being honest. This is the best Devin's looked physically in recent years.
I think so too. And he doesn't look. I mean, like again, man, he doesn't look like he cut weight. He looks like he maybe lost the weight. He doesn't look like he actually cut. He didn't look drawn at all. He looked he looked natural at that weight yesterday. He looked good.
I'm going to play kinesiologist here. I'm going to play sports scientist, sports medicine guy here. And I know B tends to play a doctor on TV, and he's going to do it today.
Sure.
When we talk about, stress, pressure, cortisol, anxiety, all these things, the mental hormonal thing that can throw you out of whack when you're trying to make weight. And I've said this, and maybe I'm playing too much into it, and people can disagree if they want, but I think the roles were reversed here. Going into that Teofimo Lopez fight, George Kambosos seemed like the cool, calm, collective guy, and Teofimo Lopez looked like the guy who was wound up too tight. He was emotional.
Unhinged, man. Unhinged.
He was unhinged. He looked like he was trying too hard to like play this WWE character or a character out of Gladiator with these ridiculous quotes and stuff. I think the roles have reversed here. I think George Kambosos has taken on that role of being unhinged, a little bit out of character, a little bit too emotional, dramatic, really reaching for things here, talking about things that don't matter. Oh, well, I chose you, blah, 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 blah. Where else were you going to go? You know, I just think that Devin Haney is the guy who's nice, cool, calm, and collective. And George Kambosos fighting at home, I think there's also pressure on you fighting at home that need and want and desire to try to impress the hometown crowd, coming back here for the first time in 5 years. To be honest, all of that mental pressure and stress could have risen the cortisol, right? And could have fucked him up hormonally, excuse my French. And that could have threw him out of whack a little bit. So to me, he looks like he's out of pocket here. He's trying too hard, trying to convince himself that he's confident about this fight. I'm going to be honest. I think he's shook. I think he's mentally shook. I think he realizes I'm in there with a young guy, and just like I was in there with a young guy with Teofimo Lopez, my mind games aren't working on this kid, right? It's not working. This guy is bigger than me. He's taller, longer, quicker, faster, more athletic than me. And my advantage here was to try to get in his head, rough him up, rough him up mentally. And in the fight, I'm going to try and rough him up physically. I think that so far, they say the fight starts before the bell rings. I think Devin Haney automatically right now with George Kambosos missing weight and with George Kambosos' mind games not working, I think Devin Haney's already up 1-0 going into this fight.
You know what? I don't doubt it. I really don't doubt it. Thank you so much, D-Style Boxing, man. We appreciate it. Thank you so much, brother. As far as Kambosos goes, I will disagree. I don't know that he's really worried about Devin Haney, worried about that. I think what happened is, all the press, all the media, this is a media storm from the Teofimo fight. He's, been on this ride, and now you got to kind of pay up here. Now, I think the pressure has gotten to him. Fighting in your home country, that's a big deal. A fight like this, not a local card. A fight like this is major. All right, you got this guy coming into the Lions Den and everything like that. It's one of those things, man. It really is. It's one of those things. I don't think that Devin has gotten to him. I think the pressure has gotten to him. He's just a very unlikable guy at this point. You see interviews. He's very, real weird. Let me tell you, in the what got me yesterday, he comes back, he weighs in fine and everything like that. The problem, let me tell you, the problem I had with it. Did you hear he said, this is mind games. He said, this is mental warfare. This is, Sun Tzu. This is mental warfare, blah, blah, blah. Let me ask you a question. Okay. Just thinking outside the box here. If it's mental warfare, then why are you telling everybody it's mental warfare? You know what I mean? Like, are you an idiot? If this is your big mind game, why are you telling him it's a big mind game? Why are you telling everybody it's a big mind game? Because it's not. It's a screw up. We all know it's a screw up. This is what I'm talking about. Everything leading into here, the things he's been saying, the talk, everything like that. It doesn't fit him. And this was just kind of the finals when I just kind of chuckled when he said that. I'm like, give me a break.
Well, you want to hear something else that was the stupidest thing he ever said? So he's sitting there calling Devin Haney a rat, right? Because Devin Haney apparently was telling him secrets about Teofimo Lopez, how Teofimo Lopez had problems with this girl. He was not right for the fight, whatever.
Right.
But you just ratted out the rat. So you ratted out Devin Haney for supposedly ratting out Teofimo Lopez. And then Devin Haney's like, do you know what a rat is? A rat is like when you rat on someone that committed a crime, but like, I just gave you info. It's like, I'm not does you even know what a rat is? In our culture, what a rat is. A rat is a guy who gives up a guy who commits a crime. But George Kambosos said the stupidest thing. So you're a rat too, because you just ratted him out. Right. So
That
what is that? Like, it's the stupidest thing you ever said. So
really
you
was.
just ratted out a guy that you're considering a rat. So you did the same thing you're accusing this guy of doing.
It was the dumbest. It was like the dumbest thing when he starts in with that. He called Haney a rat. I'm like, what are you talking about? He was trying to help you out. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? You know?
And he knew that if you won, that he had a better chance of getting a fight with you than he did Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. It's just he's just, I don't think he's 100% focused on in this fight. And you're not going to beat Devin Haney, period. But you're definitely not going to beat him if you're not 100% focused.
Yeah.
No way. And I'll tell you what, and you know me, I've been singing Haney's praises for a long, long time. I think he's one of the best out there. I think he's possibly one of the top pound for pound fighters out there. You know, yeah, I get it. His resume is not, it's not great. It's not elite. It's not Canelo. I get it. I'm just talking about the eye test. My point of view of this. And I've said this for a long time that Devin Haney is the best lightweight in the world.
You've said that, yeah.
And I've said this for a long, long time. And tonight, yeah, I mean, he's going to roll over. He's going to dog walk George Kambosos. No question about it.
I think he's going to stop him.
I wouldn't surprise me if it's a late stoppage. It wouldn't surprise me if he stopped him or was a unanimous decision. But I will tell you this. When you see one round of that fight, you'll see subsequently every round of that fight because there won't be anything Kambosos is going to be able to do. Haney will be all over him. He will not be able to touch Haney at all. And I'm talking about a prime George Kambosos. If he was ready, I don't even think he's 100% ready for this. But let's just take him for instance. Even at 100% Kambosos, he's not going to be able to lay a glove on Devin Haney. If Devin Haney doesn't want to be hit, Devin Haney doesn't get hit.
He controls range beautifully.
Unbelievable.
His jab is again, I said he has like a busy jab. He's not worried about landing that jab in an authoritative way. He's not looking to always push you back with it. That jab is there to basically prevent you from getting off first, right? It's a pesky jab. It's a rhythm breaker. It's a punch that he just frustrates people with, and he keeps you at a distance. It's like a punch he uses to fend you off, right? And not only that, that jab can easily transition into an offensive flurry too. He's just so quick and extemporaneous with his combinations. It's hard to time this guy when he starts a combination. It's hard to time, what's coming off that jab. Right? You don't know if that jab's going to be doubled or tripled. You don't know if he's going to move it around, change levels with it. And he throws his shots nice and straight. He's a accurate puncher. He's really good at placing his punches, knows what to throw, when to throw it. Kambosos, to me, basically is going to be a step behind tonight because he's a smaller, not as long, and he's not as quick. And people like to say he's athletic, but Devin Haney is more athletic. Right? People like to say Devin Haney is not a big puncher. Neither is George Kambosos. But the thing that Devin Haney does have is he has that element of surprise to his shots. He's a little more trickier than George Kambosos. Like I said, Kambosos likes to come forward. He's kind of an in and out type guy. He's got that ambush type style, fights in spurts, whereas Devin Haney is more of a volume guy. He just has that continuous pace that he fights at. Not every punch is going to be hard, but he's going to throw punches for various reasons. Not everything has to land flush. Not everything has to be power, but he's going to score points. He's going to touch, offset, frustrate, gauge distance, and just establish the way this fight is going to be fought. And I think George Kambosos, because there's a loop to those shots, and Devin Haney's the straighter puncher, his punches are going to get there first. And Devin Haney has a very, very underrated counter left hook. And I think George Kambosos may come in with that looping right hand, just like he did with Teofimo Lopez, and he was able to land it. But, Devin Haney has scouted him well, I believe. And when he comes over the top with that looping right hand, don't be surprised if Devin Haney sneaks that little 45-degree counter left hook in there, and that could be a game changer. That could be that fight-changing punch that turns this fight. And I think as the fight wears on, I think George Kambosos is going to get frustrated, right? That's going to wear on him mentally. That's going to deplete some of the adrenaline. That's number one. Number two, when he's getting frustrated, he's going to sort of kind of did what Canelo did against Bivol. He's going to start loading up, throwing one shot at a time, right? And when that happens, he may make that one mistake that Devin Haney is going to capitalize on, because Devin Haney is a very poised, relaxed guy. He doesn't fight outside of himself. He's not an emotional guy in that ring. He's a very cerebral guy, does what he has to do to get the win. He's not concerned about pleasing the fans or making excitement for the fans. He wants to win the fight. George Kambosos is going to go out there and try to make a statement, try to impress, try to please that 50,000 that came to see him. And when it doesn't go his way, I think he's going to resort to that one punch at a time, Hail Mary type thing. And I think when he does that, he's going to make that one mistake that's going to cost him late in the fight. And that's how I think he's going to get stopped late.
Yeah, I think that's a great breakdown. It really is. And I mean, that's the thing. I think that, again, Kambosos is not, and anybody saying that either one of these guys are just, pillow fisted or whatever. I mean, listen, man, I don't want to be on the end of either one of those punches, but I'm going to tell you what, if anybody, to me anyway, if anybody has the power advantage, who's going to knock who out, I think Haney has that advantage because of his speed. Because he's going to hit you with that shot you don't see.
100%.
Kambosos isn't going to hit Haney with anything he's not going to be able to see.
Yeah.
Haney can hit him with that shot that you don't see, and that's what hurts you. And I also think, I tell you what, I think fatigue could play a big part in this. I mean, again, 1/3 of a pound. I get it. Not a lot of weight. But what it tells me is that maybe you're not 100% focused on the task at hand here. And that's what it tells me. And maybe, if you're not, if we weren't able to cut weight, then how are you going to be able to go that distance? Are you in shape to go the distance? I don't know.
Everyone keeps asking what time the fight is. Damn it. Google, I mean, it's on ESPN at 9. It's on ESPN at 9 o'clock. I mean, it's 9
p.m.
hard.
9 p.m. Eastern time on ESPN. Main event's probably going to take place around 11 or so. 11:30. Somewhere in there. But 9 p.m. on ESPN. Now, is it on regular ESPN or is this going to be on ESPN?
Regular ESPN.
Wow. Okay. At least this is a big one, man. This is a big one. Yeah. I tell you what, the thing you guys ought to be asking for, what time is the Donaire fight on Tuesday? The Inoue Donaire fight. I think it's at 7:30 or something like that. Or
the main event's probably going to come off at 7:30 in the morning. So we'll be getting up for work. We'll be watching the shit on our phone while we're working or whatever. Right?
I mean, honestly, are those your favorite times? I mean, really, like those are my favorite times, man. When they got a fight in Japan, a big fight in Japan or whatever, we get to watch it at like 7:30 or what. How do you not start your day like that? You know what I mean? Crazy. You're working, you're glancing over at the fight. I mean, that's great.
It's funny, right?
Yeah, right. It's awesome, kick out of that shit. Yeah, we could have done this, years and years ago. We can do it now, And
good news for Haney. Bill Haney arrived. He's there.
Was that the coolest thing ever?
Was
that the coolest thing ever? So if there was any other thing that you could put, stocks going up, stocks going down, you got that weigh-in, you got all this, all the Kambosos stuff. And then you got Devin Haney, his dad's not going to be there. Now his dad's here, you know what I mean? And now he's going to be in his corner. That's huge. I mean, that Haney, again, man, Haney is going to dog walk this kid.
Haney,
go ahead.
Bill Haney he's a very likable guy. And when you look at these guys who have the fathers in their corner and they try to live vicariously through their sons and they're a distraction, they get in the way. But Bill Haney's not like that. He brings other people in. He knows that there's other guys in there that could help Devin Haney in certain areas that he can't. He acknowledges that. And he puts his son first. He's not trying to live vicariously through his son. He does what needs to be done and has to be done in order to make his son be put in the best possible situation to succeed in the sport of boxing. And that's why you got to give him credit. He's very different than a lot of these other father-son combinations. Like, he is not like Tio Senior. He's just not.
Philly Drew says Haney gets stopped in the 8th or 9th. His defense is a liability.
Yeah.
I don't think his defense is a liability at all. I think he's one of the better defensive fighters out there. I got to be honest, man. He doesn't get hit that much. Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, man. I mean, I don't think he gets hit that much.
I mean, that's the beauty of this fight. There's a lot of people. It's like 50-50. A lot of people. It's funny though too, because
now, tomorrow,
go ahead.
It's going to be 90-10. It's not going to be 50-50.
Of course.
Kambosos is a bum tomorrow, or Haney's overrated tomorrow.
Yes.
Whatever you want to go with, But again, we've got it on record, man. We're rolling with Haney. I think Haney's smashing them tomorrow or tonight. But yeah, tomorrow morning, guaranteed there's going to be a bunch of Monday morning quarterbacks. George Kambosos will suck. He never should have won the belt. He was way overrated as a champion, or Haney was way overrated, blah, blah, blah. Take your
I can't wait to talk to Robbie tomorrow. I'm going to blast his fucking ass. Boston Celtics kicked the shit out of the Golden State Warriors.
That was awesome.
On Thursday.
Now, is this game 2? Game 2's coming up? Or
Game 2's coming up. We're up 1-0.
Yeah, they smashed them. It was like 120 to 103. It was beautiful, man.
Robbie
Steph Curry, Curry had like 6 3-pointers in the first quarter. My son was telling me.
That game was such a fun game to watch. That was a freaking shootout. The Celtics were down by 15 going into that fourth.
Yeah.
And they outscored them like 40 to fucking, I think 28 or something like that in the second half. The fourth quarter. 40 to fucking 20 or 17 or something. They fucking destroyed them in the fourth quarter.
That's insane.
They were lights out, bro.
That's insane, man. Yeah.
They played such good basketball, man. It was incredible.
Yeah, everybody over here is rooting for Boston, man. Everybody over here is rooting for Boston.
Oh, for real? Because it's an East Coast thing, right?
Yeah. Heck yeah. And Antonio was like, I hate the Golden State Warriors. I was like, I don't like them either. They're always there,
Well, these
beware of Monday morning quarterbacks that don't pick fights. Yeah. Thank you so much, D-Style.
They actually do pick fights.
They pick fights the Corey Leeway that right after
on
the
Monday
fight.
Morning.
Yeah, right.
They do predictions on Monday morning. They're the masters of the woulda, coulda, shouldas.
King KO said the Dreamettes are talking crazy right now. I don't know, man. I tell you what, hey, listen, man, we got a pie bet. I think I got a pie bet with Georgie, don't I?
Yeah.
I got a pie bet with Georgie. Was with Chandler M, but Chandler M skipped town on me.
Yeah.
Never paid up, but Georgie, I got a pie bet with Georgie on it. I'll tell you what, Antonio, my son, is rolling with Kambosos tonight too.
Is he really?
He hates Devin Haney. I don't know why. I don't know. I think he thinks he's cocky or something like that. I'm like,
come on. And George Kambosos isn't?
Right. As I was telling him, I was like, dude, come on, man.
Come on, brother.
But he's always hated Devin Haney. I'm like, why do you hate Devin Haney? I'm like, I don't like him.
How can you hate Devin Haney?
That's what I said. I was like, seems like a nice enough dude, man. And, I don't know. I was like, man, that's rough over there, man.
I'm debating on whether to do a live cast tonight, man. The only thing is, everyone's going to be doing it, so who's going to be watching mine? That's my only concern.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll do it. I'm kind of, I'm kind of really pumped for this fight.
I am too. I've been waiting for this for a while now, man.
I'd have
Haney's
to say,
getting a shot.
You know what? I have to say that I think I haven't been this excited for a fight all year. And there's been some good fights. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I love seeing like a young guy, 23 years old, get his shot. And he's going over to Australia, and this is for Undisputed. And just the whole build up to this fight and the story and everything. I'm just really excited about this fight. And I don't know, the closer and closer we get to this fight, the more and more excited I get. I'm having that big fight feeling to this fight, really.
Yeah, I've waited a long time. Like I said, I've been a Haney fan for a long time, and I've waited for him to get to this point, where this is it, man. And, he's going to become undisputed, and, he's got a chance to become undisputed and everything like that. Chauncey Pearl says, I'm picking Kambosos by close decision. Aussie judges going to give it to the home team. Yeah. There's no Australian judges there. I think they're all from neutral countries, right?
Yeah, they're all from neutral countries. They're all from way out somewhere out. Like I think the judges are from they're from. There was one Canadian judge. It's and the other two I think are Eastern European.
Yeah. So I don't. Listen, they're going to be influenced by the crowd. I get you, but I think that's going to be taken out in the first few rounds. I think the crowd's going to be completely taken out.
Yeah. One guy's from Budapest. Another guy is from Poland. And the third guy is Benoit Russell Usal, I think his name is. Yeah, he's pretty well known. He's from Canada. So, I think I'm all done with this whole judges thing, that the judges are in the pocket. And the judges are going to go for the A side. I think that's overstated. I don't think that these judges are like there's like these envelopes they get before the fight, or there's these unwritten rules that if they don't go for the A side, they're not going to come back. Here's the thing. It's a bad look if a judge scores a fight improperly because the court of public opinion destroys them, right? Yeah. And that's a bad look. And that brings a lot of negative attention, not only to the judge, but also the commission that appointed that judge, right? So I just don't think there's any incentive for the judges to give the A side preferential treatment. I just don't. Now, like you said, could there be some subconscious bias? Could the crowd influence? Maybe, but it's not supposed to. I interviewed Judge Steve Weisfeld the other day, and he told me, man, that a judge wants to do his best, because if a judge isn't doing a good job, if a judge continuously turns in poor scorecards, we've seen judges get shelved for it, right? We've seen them. So I'm getting tired of this whole thing that judges are going to screw them type thing. I'm going to give the judges the benefit of the doubt. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being a little bit optimistic here. I'm giving the judges the benefit of the doubt tonight. They're all neutral judges. You know what? I'm going to go off on a limb here. I want to tell you this, that I think you can get 3 Australian judges tonight. I don't think it makes a bit of difference. Yeah, I think I don't think it makes a bit of difference. Yeah. In this fight, I think it's probably going to go to a decision. I know you think it's going to be a stoppage. I think it's probably going to go to a decision. I think that decision will be so lopsided that you won't be able to undo what Haney does there. I think Haney's going to win. Clearly. MEZ Box, thank you so much, brother. He said, thanks for the content. He said the antics he tried with Lopez Jr. and Sr. didn't work with Haney and his team. Yeah, I agree. I agree mentally with that. Stable. Yeah, I 100% agree with that. I agree. That's the thing. I mean, Senior, it's going to work on Teofimo Jr. and Senior because they're hotheads. They're way, they're keyed up and everything like that. But Haney, those guys are cool over there, man. They're, you're not going to. It's going to be hard to rattle them. They've been through a lot already. They've been through this a billion times. Yeah. Listen, I keep talking about, like I said, Devin Haney or whatever. Shakur Stevenson is the other one that I look at. That's like, now it's, I saw him coming up, but now he's really starting to develop or whatever. That reminds me of that type of fighter, that it's going to be a very difficult fight for anybody. I think Stevenson's going to be the man, and he's going to be the new emerging star. He looks so big, bro. He looks so poised. I think just so poised with, with the fights he's had recently, and he's improving. Again, he didn't need much improvement, but strength-wise, he's sitting down. He's hard to hit. I mean, excuse me. What can you do? I mean, again, that's another guy that's, He took a picture with Tank Davis the other day after the Rolly fight. And granted, now he was clothed and he didn't have to make weight, and he's probably at his walk-around weight, and Tank was still rehydrated, but he looks so much bigger than Tank. Like, it's amazing that Shakur Stevenson fights at 130. I'm not saying he has problems making weight, but he just looks so big for the weight class. He's going to be a great lightweight. I think he's going to be the man. He's going to be like the standout guy at 130 all the way up to 140. He's going to be that guy. I think if he was to fight Josh Taylor right now, I think he would beat him clearly and decisively. I think it would take him to school. He could move all the way up to 140 right now and dominate 140, in my opinion. Yeah. He's again, man, he's one of those guys that's just got all that skill. But what I think, when you talk about this, we always think about like a Sugar Ray Leonard type of guy. When I see people coming out of the Olympics and stuff like that, and like again, Shakur Stevenson, former Olympian, none of them really have that. And even with Devin Haney, none of them really have that charisma that Sugar Ray had, or like say Oscar De La Hoya had. Yeah. They don't have that charisma. They don't have that, you're not going to see them on ads anywhere. You're not going to see, we have to, I'm hoping they can, get a publicist or whatever. And, one of those firms, or what are those firms, publicist firms or whatever, where they go out PR firms. PR firms. Yeah. And they, they do the job for you, and then, you can be on commercials or whatever, but I hope they what time's the fight coming up? Jesus. Oh my God. You guys are killing Beeb here. 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN or ESPN Plus.
Don Mo says Antoine Russell at 140. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gary Antoine
that's
Russell is
another
a
one.
very good fighter, too.
That's
Yeah, he's a very good fighter. I actually think he's better than his brother.
He can punch.
The older Gary Russell. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a bigger puncher.
Yeah. Did you hear in other news, man? Did you hear Adrian Broner's coming back?
Yes.
He's fighting Omar Figueroa in Chicago,
Yes.
July 23rd, baby.
That's a good fight for him.
I don't know, man. I don't know. He's been out for a long time, man. You gotta think that's got to take a toll on you.
I mean,
right?
all fighters fight for the money, but if that is your only reason for fighting, and you're fighting because you need money and money only, and there's no desire for you to fight. Obviously, there's no desire because he's been out of the ring for so long. But now he's probably looking at his bank account. He's probably looking at his kitchen table. There's a stack of bills like this on this kitchen table. He's like, God damn, we got to do something about this.
Well, I can either go get a job or I can go get hit in the face. Let me see what I want to do.
Yeah, I mean, I know what it's like to get hit in the face. I don't know. I don't know what it's like if I work a 9 to 5. I don't
know what it's like to go punch a clock, you know.
Yeah, I can punch a face, but I don't know if I want to punch a clock.
I tell you what, man, that's Omar Figueroa is not a cupcake. That's no walk in the park right there.
No, it's not. It's not.
That's not a walk in the park for him. And I don't know, man. What do if you're Adrian Broner, man, I don't even know that I could roll with him in this fight, man. I would love to, but
he's just been so inactive.
And that's man, that plays a role, man.
His head's been all over the place. We don't know where he's at mentally, you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you don't know where he's at, and you still don't know where he's at.
It's like Jesse Vargas in there with Liam Smith, man. Like, he was out of the ring for a while. He's got all these other things going on with the politics and stuff. How focused was he for that fight? How focused was he on his career? Like, was he ready for Beefy at that particular?
He already had a foot out the door.
That's what I'm saying.
He already had a foot out the door. Like you said, he had a foot out the door, son.
Absolutely.
This isn't the kind of thing. This isn't the kind of profession where you can have a foot out the door.
Absolutely not.
It doesn't work that way, man.
It does not work that way, brother. You know that.
No way, man. You can't do that.
So have you heard? I read an article that they're saying that now like Lomachenko could get the winner of this fight. I think Todd DeBuff was talking to Lomachenko to see if he would want the winner. What about the rematch clause, though? Now, is there something going on behind the scenes? I don't know. I really don't know.
I don't know. But listen, to my knowledge, Lomachenko's still over in the Ukraine fighting a war.
Over in the Ukraine, yeah.
They offered him this fight.
Yeah.
That was the fight they wanted. The original fight they wanted was Lomachenko and Kambosos. All right. That's the fight they all wanted. But Loma said, I ain't going nowhere. He said, I'm staying here. I'm fighting.
So what do you think happens after this fight? Do you think that there is going to be a rematch if it is a one-sided fight in Haney's favor, or how do you think this whole thing plays out?
I don't think there'll be unless this is a dynamite fight. There's not going to be a rematch. I wouldn't think. I can't see it happen. But then where does Haney go from here?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if Haney moved right up to 140.
Yeah,
because what else is there at 135? Like, what other big fights are going to be out there?
There's a ton. I mean, there's a ton, right?
Well,
that he's not going to get.
You got Tank, right? You got Ryan. You got Ryan Garcia. That's 2 fights,
right?
But again, like, those guys will never fight him.
What is it? Ryan's going to fight Javier Fortuna next after calling out Tank, Haney, everybody in the division.
He says he wants Tank in December. Again, like, when do we like? How can we believe this guy?
You don't. He can want him all he wants. Come on.
He's more concerned with doing commercials with Damian Lillard instead of boxing. You know what I mean? Yeah,
I mean, like, dude, come on, man. Jaime Munguia is another one. He's another one. What is it with everybody over at Golden Boy, man? Like, Jaime Munguia is another one. Who is he fighting next?
Some fucking guy I don't even know.
I've never heard of that guy in my life, man.
I mean,
when are you going to put him in there with a live body, man? Put him in. Go. What are you doing?
He's got no chance in hell, bro.
No. And what do this guy's already got 30 some odd fights, 30, almost 40 fights.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Start stepping it up, man.
It's fucking crazy, man.
You know, how can you consider him even one of the better champions at 160 with who he's fighting? You know?
Yeah.
And then you know what they do? You know what they do is they get in there and they just overprice themselves. Oh, he's scared to fight. You know, he didn't want to fight. We offered him a contract, 90-10. We offered it to him and he didn't want to take it, Like, dude, I mean, he's not a draw. He's not this big draw over there.
No.
I don't understand what Golden Boy's plan is. Again,
I don't get it either.
I mean, look, you got Ryan Garcia doing nothing, Jaime Munguia doing nothing, man. What are you doing?
I mean, what's the plan over there?
There is no plan. Oscar's on coke. That's the plan. You know what I mean? He's probably sitting there like that final scene in Scarface with that big thing of coke over there, laying behind his desk or whatever. Like, dude, what are you doing with your guys over there?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Nothing, man. Nothing.
It's crazy.
Jesse was talking so much smack and got wrecked. Jesse Vargas, Trump's right-hand man, Jesse Vargas.
Yeah, he got destroyed, bro.
Yeah, he got smashed.
It wasn't even funny.
Did you see his thing or whatever? It was like I was looking at Trump's website. You know what I mean? He had the same talking points, everything. I'm like, dude, you're a lemming, dude. Like, at least get your own stuff. Like, how is what you're gonna do? How is just like putting his stuff up there gonna help you? Like, if I'm voting for this, what am I voting for?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you got no original thoughts at all, man.
It's crazy.
It's insane. Just nuts, man. So yeah, man, that's what I think is gonna happen. I think Haney wins easy. I think he wins by decision. You think he stops him late?
I think he stops him late.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. There you go. A lot of people. I want you guys keep that same energy. A lot of people saying that Haney's not gonna win, everything like that. So be tomorrow evening at 7. We do the show, or 6 o'clock. Excuse me. When we do the show. 6. Yeah, don't tune in at 7. Tune in at 6. 6 o'clock when we do the show tomorrow. How many people are going to be like, "Oh man, he was terrible"?
I told you it could have gone either way.
Right. That's
whoever wins. I was leaning towards that guy. I mean, I was kind of leaning towards him.
Who did Robert have in this?
I don't know. I got to ask him.
Yeah, I don't know who he's got in this. Although he's probably listening, probably going to take Haney now.
Oh yeah, he's gonna take Haney now.
He's gonna take Haney for sure, right?
I always convince him into taking a certain guy.
You ought to convince him into taking Kambosos. Sean Black says split decision for Haney. I think it's gonna be unanimous, son.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a clear victory. I think it's gonna be a clear victory, in my opinion.
What is Sean Black going on about here? He says he's saying the same thing about Danny Garcia, and he's been out 2 years. Also think he has bills and needs money too. All right, so what? And is there
again?
A point to that?
It's a bad look when you guys cape for fighters, bro.
This dude is so angry.
When you run interference for a guy who never met you, who doesn't know you, doesn't send you a Christmas card, you don't get invited to birthday parties.
Wasn't this a dude like? Who couldn't speak English? Like when we called him up, he was like, I don't know. He was like, it was real broken or whatever when he talked.
No, he had a bad issue with his phone. He's a cool dude, but his phone was all jacked up. So.
Gotcha. Now I remember him. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, his phone was jacked up, but
his phone was jacked up. Buy a new phone. Why don't you concentrate on getting a new phone? You know
get a new phone. Fix up that phone before you start.
Why am I caping? Because you are. I don't know why you are. You just are.
Explain to me why you cape for these guys, bro.
Right?
These guys don't care about you. They don't know who you are, but you want to cape for these guys. I don't understand.
You asked a question, but it was the way you asked the question. So Danny Garcia. So listen, I could care less about Danny Garcia. Danny Garcia is not fighting. Adrian Broner is the one coming out of pseudo retirement or whatever.
I mean, we always got to deal with these whataboutisms, man. What about this guy? What about that guy?
Sean Black says he has an iPhone 13. Well, get off the Cricket Network, man. Get on like Verizon or something.
Yeah. We'll get a note. Get an Ultra 22. Get an Ultra 22. That's what you need.
Ultra 22.
Because that fucking phone that you had last time was just wasn't cutting it. No disrespect, but sounded like you were
bad.
you sounded like you were in a fucking, I don't know, a tunnel somewhere. Sorry to say.
Yeah, but I mean, if Danny Garcia was coming back, we'd say the same thing about him too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Danny's fighting Benavidez. Is he? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, great. He needs money too. So, oh man. On a Mission said, do the live. It'll be trending. Sal's blog talk says George isn't getting past Devin's jab. He said he was actually driving through one. What's that mean?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. All right, guys. Listen, that'll do it for this edition of Ringside Reporter. Listen, live cast may or may not happen tonight. I don't know. It just depends.
I think I'm gonna.
Depends on how we feel. Depends on how we feel.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do it, man. Because there's a lot of. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna break down and do it.
All right, there you go. There you go.
I'm gonna break down and do it.
All right, so catch Beeb for the live cast tonight, and then catch us 6 p.m. tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, for the Ringside Reporter show, and then we're gonna break down the fight, tell you what happened, and we'll break down all the fights this weekend. I don't think there's many fights this weekend. No, somebody told me there was a chick fight on DAZN though right now, so I can't wait to not watch that.
Well, you know what's a good fight tonight is the Stephen Fulton Daniel Roman fight on Showtime.
That's going to be a good fight.
That's a good fight.
That's going to be a fight. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's a good one.
What happened? Who was the guy? Who was the guy we interviewed? The karate guy. You know what I'm talking about?
Rasim Alim.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the mix. He'll be in the mix pretty soon.
Rais Alim. That's it.
Rais Alim.
Yeah. Where? Okay. So yeah, man. Where? That guy, man. I tell you what. Like he just like fell off the planet because I thought he was going to fight Fulton. I thought he was a better candidate to fight Fulton. And then next thing I know, man, he had that tough fight. That set him back. I really think that probably set him back.
Yeah, it's crazy.
But hey, hopefully he'll be back. So there you go. Yeah, I think that's going to be a good fight. What else is on there? Anything? I think that's it until Tuesday, right?
Yeah, they got no news on the air coming out.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy
fight. There's a DAZN card. Joe Cordina, 130-pound title. He's fighting Nagawa. No one's really. There's not a lot of buzz for that one.
I wonder how come. That's
yeah. Listen to Eddie Hearn talk about it, and it's like that's the greatest fight since sliced bread. But then again, what do you expect? It's Eddie Hearn, right?
Right. All right, guys, that'll do it, and we will catch you tomorrow.